for the high, 58 for the low tonight. Good chance of rain for Tuesday, bringing some cooler temperatures. We're sitting at 45 degrees right now here at the University of Houston.
Support comes from Specs Wines, Spirits, and Finer Foods. February is Wine Month, providing a range of wine for gatherings and celebrations all month long. More at Specs.com. Specs, the fun starts here.
Some earlier wrecks, 10 westbound 45. They cleared that also on the West Sam southbound West Road. That's gone as well. Listen anywhere. We're streaming live at HoustonPublicMedia.org. Download our app as well. News updated 24/7. KUHF Houston News 88.7. A service of the University of Houston. It's 9 o'clock.
The Texas 18th District finally has a Congressman-elect, but how soon will Christian Menefee be sworn in? I'm Craig Cohen. Today on Houston Matters, Saturday's runoff, the upcoming primary, the new maps, and more election-related news. We check in with Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider for the latest.
Houston Matters with Craig Cohen is a production of Houston Public Media with support from Baylor College of Medicine.
Also this hour, it's the first Monday of the month. That's when we set aside time to sweat the small stuff and welcome you to our metro area-wide moan session called Houstonian Pet Peeves.
What new information
you can't
is in
tackle life's big challenges if you let the little ones get to you first. So join us and vent at 713-440-8870 or talk at HoustonMatters.org. Plus, we preview Sunday's Super Bowl and discuss the Texans' offseason priorities. We'll start with the news update from NPR and News 88.7. Stay with us.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Parts of the federal government are still shut down this morning. Congress did not fund all agencies by last week's deadline. On Friday, the Senate passed a huge bill to reopen them, but it only funded the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks. House Speaker Mike Johnson says his chamber now needs to meet and pass this bill in order to end the shutdown.
Our intention is by Tuesday to fund all agencies of the federal government except for that one, and then we'll have 2 weeks of good faith negotiations to figure it out.
He spoke to NBC's Meet the Press. Democrats want to rein in federal immigration agents' tactics, and they want them to take off their masks. A 5-year-old boy and his father, who were arrested in Minnesota by federal agents and detained in Texas, have gone home. They were released by the order of a federal judge. Lawyers say federal agents used the preschooler as bait to get other people out of his home. Meanwhile, the boy's school district is closed today. Columbia Heights Public Schools near Minneapolis says that is because of a credible threat. The mayor of Portland, Oregon, says federal immigration agents near an ICE facility tear-gassed protesters on Saturday. Oregon Public Broadcasting's Conrad Wilson reports the mayor is demanding that the agents leave Portland.
Thousands turned out for a union-backed rally against increased immigration enforcement. Federal officers responding to some protesters who had gathered onto the driveway of the ICE facility, blocking a security gate, deployed tear gas. That tear gas drifted through the air into a much larger crowd of demonstrators made up of families, including children and elderly people. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson condemned federal officers' actions, saying they had deployed heavy waves of chemical munitions on peaceful protesters who did not pose a threat. The incident comes as a federal judge is set to take up a lawsuit filed by the ACLU of Oregon, arguing federal law enforcement has used excessive force on peaceful protesters. For NPR News, I'm Conrad Wilson in Portland.
Stocks opened higher this morning as the Walt Disney Company reported better than expected quarterly results. NPR's Scott Horsley reports the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose about 150 points in early trading.
Disney's movie studio did a strong box office business thanks to hits like Zootopia 2 and the latest Avatar movie. The company's theme parks and cruise ship division reported record revenue, although Disney warned international visits to its theme parks in California and Florida could suffer in the current quarter. Economists are praising President Trump's latest pick to head the agency that tracks inflation and unemployment. Brett Matsumoto is described as a technocratic data nerd. Trump fired the agency's previous leader last August after a disappointing jobs report. An earlier nominee withdrew after criticism that he was overly partisan and lacked experience. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow is now up about 180 points. You're listening to NPR News from Washington.
Support for NPR comes from the Skoll Foundation.
dedicated to powering social innovators to transform the world. Learn more at skoll.org. And Jarl and Pamela Mohn, focusing on civil liberties, foster youth, public radio, and the arts.
Bye from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Matt Harab. Former Harris County Attorney Christian Menefee won a lopsided victory over his fellow Democrat, former Houston City Council member Amanda Edwards, in Saturday's special election runoff to fill out the term of the late Congressman Sylvester Turner. Edwards has not responded to a request for comment from Houston Public Media. Menefee will now face 9th District incumbent Congressman Al Green in the March Democratic primary. Meanwhile, separately, in an upset win on Saturday, Democrat Taylor Ramette flipped a Texas state Senate seat in Tarrant County that went for President Trump 2 years ago. The district has been a GOP stronghold since the early 1990s, but it was a double-digit victory for Ramette. We'll have more on these wins for Democrats straight ahead from our government reporter, Andrew Schneider. At Houston City Hall, a proposal to crack down on apartment complexes with chronic health and safety violations is stalled. The delay comes after Mayor John Whitmire said it would be expedited. News 88.7's Dominic Anthony Walsh explains.
The proposed rules would ramp up inspections and fines for apartment buildings with frequent, unresolved health and safety violations. Mayor John Whitmire said last year he hoped to move it forward in January, but progress remains stalled. Former City Councilmember Letitia Plummer spearheaded the measure before stepping down to run for Harris County judge.
People are dying. People are living in conditions that are just unacceptable. And the fact that everyone on council is sitting on this dais saying they're representing community, but not advocating and pushing to make this thing happen is unfortunate.
Whitmire's office did not respond to a request for comment. The City Council's Housing and Economic Development Committees are expected to announce a series of meetings about the proposal in the coming days. I'm Dominic Anthony Walsh, News 88.7.
And one person died and several others were injured after a shooting on the northeast side of town over the weekend. Multiple outlets report that hundreds of people gathered for a trail ride when officers were called to separate the crowd after the event. Police say at least 6 people were hospitalized. The person who died was 20 years old, and authorities say that they believe there were multiple shooters. I'm Matt Harab, News 88.7.
This is Houston Matters. I'm Craig Cohen. Thanks for joining us here on News 88.7 and on Houston Public Media's YouTube channel. Coming up this hour, we preview the Super Bowl and discuss the Texans offseason with the Houston Chronicle's Jonathan Alexander. And it's the first Monday of the month, and that's when we welcome your Houstonian Pet Peeves. You can send those now to talk@houstonmatters.org or call 713-440-8870. But first, after nearly a year without representation in Congress, voters in the Texas 18th District finally have a Congressman-elect. It's former Harris County Attorney Christian Menefee, who handily won Saturday's special election runoff over former Houston City Council member Amanda Edwards. But how quickly will he be seated? News 88.7's Andrew Schneider joins us to discuss that and more. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
It's been 11 months since Congressman and former Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner died. That is a long time for a lot of Houstonians not to be represented in Congress. Why has it taken so long?
Governor Greg Abbott waited a month after Turner's death, then announced rather than holding the special election in May, as he might have, he was going to be postponing it till November. He said that was because Harris County had problems conducting elections in the recent past, wanted to make sure they had enough time to prepare properly. Democrats and several political analysts said it was more likely that Abbott was trying to help Republicans in the U.S. House hold on to their slim majority. Now, remember, no one captured more than 50% of the vote in November, and federal law required a lengthy waiting period before the runoff to accommodate overseas voters.
U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson delayed the swearing-in of Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva following a special election in Arizona. She was elected in September, but not sworn in until mid-November. What was Johnson's justification for that delay, first of all?
Grijalva was elected right before the last government shutdown. Johnson declined to swear her in until after the shutdown was over. Now, there was another factor in play, remember. Grijalva was poised to be the final vote needed to push through a discharge petition to force the Justice Department to release the Epstein files.
I'm connecting a few dots here. Next question. There's a partial shutdown taking place right now. How come?
Well, the House was in recess late last week when the Senate passed a budget deal that, unlike the House's version, provides only a continuing resolution to fund the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks to buy time to negotiate possible changes in immigration enforcement procedures in the wake of federal agents killing 2 citizens in Minneapolis.
Okay, so considering what happened in Arizona a few months back, and considering that there's a partial shutdown underway now, could that delay Menefee getting sworn in away?
It's certainly possible. The House is supposed to reconvene Tuesday, though, and Johnson may not have an excuse not to seat Menefee.
Even if he is sworn in a timely fashion, Menefee may have to split his time between Washington and Houston. How come?
Well, he's immediately facing a Democratic primary challenge from Congressman Al Green. Remember last summer's redistricting set the new boundaries for the 18th Congressional District, containing large segments of what was Green's 9th Congressional District. That redistricting takes effect with this primary election, and that election is just over a month away. And remember, today is the deadline to register to vote in this year's primaries.
Okay, so then how long is Menefee going to serve?
He's filling the rest of the term Turner would have served, so through the end of this year, right up to the beginning of next January, under the old 18th District boundaries. If he wins the nomination over Green and any other challengers in March, then wins the election in November, which the Democrat is likely to do because this was drawn as a strong Democratic safe district, it'll be for a full 2-year term after that, representing the new 18th.
All right, you mentioned the deadline is today to register to vote for the primary, which is about a month away. How can Houstonians find out if they're registered and which district they're in under the new maps?
You can look it up on texas.gov or on your county's website. If you're in Harris County, that's harrisvotes.com.
You're meantime keeping tabs on candidates in some other districts that find themselves with some new borders, including the 29th. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The 29th is currently represented by Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia, but those boundaries changed also as a result of the redistricting. It changed it from a district that covered much of eastern Houston and Harris County to one that's centered on the northern part of the city. It also changed from what was a majority Hispanic district to one with a much larger African-American proportion of population. That's encouraged challenges to Garcia, including from former State Representative Jarvis Johnson, whose previous state House district largely overlaps the new 29th.
Here in the Houston area, of course, on Saturday, we were fixated on the results of the 18th District election runoff, special election runoff. But that's not the only special election that took place on Saturday in Texas. I understand there was another one out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
That's right. This was in Tarrant County. Democrat Taylor Ramette, who is an Air Force veteran and union president, won a special election Saturday to flip State Senate District 9 from Republican to Democrat. That was a seat that's been in Republican hands since 1991. That county went for President Trump by 17 points in 2024, and Trump had endorsed the GOP candidate, Lee Wamsgone. It could be a potential sign of political winds shifting, or it could be an isolated result. Ramette is going to need to defend that seat again in the fall.
Andrew Schneider is the senior politics reporter for Houston Public Media. He had a very busy weekend, and I appreciate you coming in here this morning.
Thank you very much.
Up next, you can't tackle life's big challenges, and man, have there been some doozies lately if you let the little ones get you down. That's why we set aside some time on the first Monday of the month to collect your Houstonian pet peeves, those small slights, those frustrations that make your life here in Houston a little less than it could be. Share them with us now at talk@houstonmatters.org or 713-440-8870. And stay with us as Houston Matters continues on News 88.7 and YouTube.
Serious Jewish. Hi, I'm Lenny Ambrose from St. Arnold Brewing Company, proud supporters of Houston Public Media. Right now, with your $60 donation, you can choose tickets to News and Brews. This member-exclusive event takes place February 17th. Enjoy a pint, connect with fellow NPR fans, and meet the Houston Public Media newsroom in person. Select News and Brews tickets when you donate at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
With 125 years of innovation behind it, Baylor has driven progress in health and medicine through research, education, and care that push the frontiers of modern science.
Houston Matters with Craig Cohen is made possible in part by Ellen Benninghoven and Dr. Michael Schaefer, and with gifts from listeners like you.
This is Houston Matters. I'm Craig Cohen. On the first Monday of each month, we set aside time on this program to sweat the small stuff. It's a conversation we call Houstonian Pet Peeves, and we do it because, well, you can't tackle life's big challenges when the little ones get in the way. I am talking about those petty annoyances, those frustrations, those things that make your life in Houston just a little less than it could be. And we welcome your examples now at talk@houstonmatters.org. You can call or text us at 713-440-8870. Remember, you can also comment on our live video stream on Houston Public Media's YouTube channel. Reminder about the ground rules: no swearing, no defaming. And as we peruse your peeves, as always, we seek reaction from our champion complainers. Houston Chronicle op-ed editor Lisa Gray and Craig Hlavaty, public relations specialist at Public Content. Lisa, Craig, good morning.
Good morning.
Once again, to join our group moan session, let loose at 713-440-8870 or talk@houstonmatters.org. And feel free to rant away in that email if you got one. I'll do my best to recreate your frustration as I read through it. Let me just start with some general questions about peeves that might tie into this time of year. We got a few things to think about. It's Groundhog Day today. Yeah, I know. Super Bowl is
we went
Sunday.
Came to work. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a holiday.
And well, we just went through our own bout of wintry weather. Very cold here once again this morning. I wonder if any of that has had any impact on your respective attitudes. And Lisa, you are nodding, so bring it on.
We get freezes so infrequently here that we don't know how to deal with them. You know, every time it freezes, it is like Groundhog Day. I have the same conversations over and over about how do you get ice off a windshield again?
Hot water.
No. And don't pull out your metal
That's
spatula.
true.
You know, you got to do the credit card trick. You know, you take you ruin American Express by scraping the ice off.
I use an
but it's so
actual
much
ice
better.
scraper.
Yeah,
I've got an ice scraper and a
Oh,
brush.
but you're not from around here.
You have
I've
that
been
came
here
with you.
almost 13
How
years
long have you
now.
had that ice scraper?
Well, more than those 13 years.
See? It's like you came with it. Like that was like your.
It's not standard equipment here.
If you had an action figure, it would come with
I've never
that.
seen one sold here.
It doesn't matter.
No.
They are available. There
I
are
don't see them.
options.
I had to buy one in Wichita Falls last year.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time I ever bought one because Wichita Falls had ice.
When I lived in Pennsylvania one day, I dropped by, back in the days when I had a AAA membership, I dropped by the local AAA office and they just handed me one.
Wow.
Life is a little different
Yeah.
when that sort of thing is
Nicer.
routinely necessary.
I like that. So we've had one of these freezes. I use that in the quotation marks, like once a year now, right? For the past few years. It's kind of like a holiday. It's like a weekend holiday, and they always fall on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. It's funny how that works. And everybody just goes nuts. Everybody goes shopping about a week out. It's not like a hurricane. It's kind of, oh, we're going to bundle up and stay home. What's on Netflix? What do we need to stream? So it's kind of like a little holiday. The kids get a day off. The parents get to stay home. Everybody's just, the traffic's nice. It's just really relaxing. It's like our mid-January break.
So if I can translate properly to Houstonian Pet Peeves, you're annoyed that it's not like that every day.
Yeah, it's nice. It's this fun thing that we do once a year now whenever we get lucky enough to have a freeze where everybody's like, oh, it's time to go inside. HEB loves it. HEB gets all the love and the excitement. I will say, if I do have a peeve for that, ready? People don't know how to drive in parking lots of grocery stores.
Well, that's certainly
because they always go the wrong way down because they have those lines that say like the
arrows.
The arrows.
Yes.
Well, also
say, hey,
angled parking spaces.
Yeah. So people will go the wrong direction. That's a problem. That's the peeve that I have.
What annoys me is every once in a while I find everybody at the grocery store is going the wrong direction in that parking lot except for me.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what's going on.
Downtown to me all the time. I'm going
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, we don't know how to. We always talk about traffic, obviously, but we also don't know how to drive in parking lots at grocery stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the peeve.
All right, let's dive into some Houstonian peeves. We'll start with Thomas in Montgomery County. Thomas, what's your Houstonian pet peeve?
Well, off and on, I've taken part in various medical studies at a place called DM Clinical. They're located in Tomball. And in lieu of pay, they gave us gift cards, which we can spend at various places. And some diners take them. The Magnolia Diner takes it. Walgreens takes it.
Mm-hmm.
But Walmart will not take them without a PIN, which I've never been given. So they won't take the card, and I was like, give them a PIN, which I've never been given, and so that's the one store where 90% of my food buying takes place, and I can't use it.
Well, it's entirely up to you. Of course, everybody shops where they want to shop, but you might consider there may be some alternatives in your neighborhood. I think of a particular French boutique store that you may occasionally come across called Target.
Oh,
but there are other options.
What?
There's HEB and so forth, and maybe that can be your solution. But appreciate the peeve and the concern. You're always going to get there. Are always going to be some exceptions, complications, codes, pins, you name it, associated with gift cards.
Yeah.
I remember one time. One chain I thought was offering one of those deals where you purchase X number of dollars of a gift card, for a discounted price. Like it's spend $40, get $50 in gift cards. And you think, oh, okay, that makes sense. And only after, never mind the fine print, only afterwards when you get the links and the codes do you realize, oh, actually they're only giving it to you in $10 increments, or you need a certain minimum purchase, or a variety of things that in the end
you can't use it on sales.
There is no way to effectively spend it without actually spending the amount.
They're terrible gifts.
Yeah, well,
I think just give cash.
Yeah.
Do some little origami folds, make it cute.
I want to know what kind of medical studies are out there.
Yeah.
What? You want to get some gift cards?
Yeah, maybe that's a thing now in this new America. Maybe we just start doing some medical studies to get some extra cash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe Thomas will call back next month and we can figure out
and
some
can
of those
figure
are.
out how to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like
you have a bright future.
Like
Craig.
sleeping medication.
It's a gig economy.
Yeah.
And, if that's the gig, all right. Dee is in Tanglewood. Dee, what's your Houstonian pet peeve?
Hi, thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
My pet peeve is that the library system, Houston library system, is so inept in that I guess they're still living like COVID days. They are not open on the weekends to serve families. I'm a person that doesn't even have children. And when I see they're still closed on Sundays, well, when else do children and families get to go to libraries? They even close early during the week. They have one night maybe. And the other issue is that every day is a different time schedule. It's so inefficient and so unfair to the taxpayer not to be able to serve the community with a decent library system.
All right. Thanks for the call and for the peeve.
It pains me. I am a frequent library user. I will get together with my adult children and we go hang out at a library, which I think is the geekiest thing in the world.
Oh, no, we do that too.
Yeah.
We love to get a whole stack this big. We even have special bags just for the library.
Yeah. But like the best thing that I found for weekends is the app Libby, Libby, because it lets you check out ebooks. I don't know if you're into those, but it's open 24/7.
Mm-hmm. I do that too. I love those. I got a Kindle for Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah. Open new doors.
This is Houston Matters. I'm Craig Cohen. We're in the midst of another round of Houstonian Pet Peeves. Your chance to sweat the small stuff and vent at 713-440-8870 or talk at houstonmatters.org. Robert's in Houston Heights. He says, I drive on the Southwest Freeway between the Loop and Beltway several times a week. The southbound side has been going through resurfacing for several months, and finally I thought was done a few months ago. No more potholes, smooth driving, except none of the overpasses have been resurfaced. There is an overpass every half mile or so, which is filled with rough surfaces and potholes. How does this make any sense? Make it make sense, please. Either one of you.
I think the contrast is supposed to make you appreciate the nice, smooth new pavement.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So you drive along, you go, right.
I gotta donate. I gotta give more taxes for this. This is good. It's kind of like a paywall.
Oh,
sorry.
Ooh.
Hey, that affects me too. No, it's like, you like that? That's nice, huh? Yeah, $5 more.
I'd just like to point out that Houston Public Media has no paywall. Natalie says, my Houstonian pet peeve is, why don't we have weekly recycling? It would be so much easier and environmentally friendly. So not enough recycling for her.
I think that if we actually knew where our recycling was going and if it was being treated as recycling and not like other garbage, I think that would also be a cool thing.
I'm just grateful when my recycling is picked up on the right day.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks, if it's picked up on the right day and the cans don't sit out there for another
They
4 to
don't
5
do a
days.
good job of telling us, too, when things are out there, right? Like, you'd think they'd be like, they can send us a text message when it's freezing, but they could at least text us and say, hey, the garbage is due tomorrow. Put your garbage out. That'd be cool.
You want reminders?
I want reminders. Yeah. Yeah. You better put your garbage out. That'd be cool. If they're going to use this text message system for, it's hot outside.
Yeah.
Just tell us when the garbage is coming out.
Doris is in the Houston Heights and writes, although I voted in 99% of all elections, I'm now confused and uneasy. My sample Democratic ballot for March 3rd shows District 18 and the candidates Menefee and Green et al. How long do we District 18 residents remain with the original lines? When does the gerrymandered district map kick in? And where can I find a reliable map? Okay, let's take each of these questions. How long do you remain in the original lines? Your current Congressman-elect Christian Menefee is representing you under those original lines for the remainder of this year. Your votes in any future elections, including these primaries, will represent the new district lines. So that's when the new map kicks in. Basically for you, think of it as right away, a month from now when you vote next or whenever you vote next, that will be the case. Where can you find a reliable map? I would assume that if you go to the House of Representatives site, house.gov, that you will find a map there that will indicate whoever is currently representing you, but may not necessarily be the new map yet. That's a good question. Ballotpedia could be a resource. I'm not sure, because you may be looking at either the old map or the new map. The official district that's representing you is under the old map until the new one takes office next January. So I would think those are the old maps.
It's so mind-bending.
Yeah.
This race.
So I think we can help you with 2 of those 3.
Yeah.
It's almost like they make it hard on purpose.
Yeah.
Robert has a suggestion to tell Thomas that the pin on certain gift cards, usually the last 4 digits of your phone number. I don't know if that's always true, but
worth trying.
Worth trying at the very least. Yeah, absolutely. We have had a few peeves come in recently in advance of today's conversation. David writes, as I sit here waiting for the second part of a root canal, here's
David.
another irritant. Hang on. He says, here's another irritant. Medical assistants of any kind, but especially dental, who ask, how are you doing today? I'm here for an invasive oral procedure. That's how I'm doing. I try, he writes, but don't always succeed in moderating my tone. I get it, he says. How are you is one of the throwaway lines we spit out whenever we open a transaction with people in the service industry. But workers, particularly in the medical field, should be mindful that if we're at a doctor's office, then maybe we ain't doing so great. I appreciate politeness and professionalism, but it's way past time we discarded that pointless question, except for the doctor who's actually administering treatment. The same goes for workplaces, especially workplaces, unquote.
Especially, I think, at the dentist. I adore my dentist, but sometimes she asks me a question while her hands are in my mouth.
Yeah. And somehow they have that magical power of being able to understand what you're saying. And they seem to pick up on every
I
word
agree
of
with
it.
that, too.
Practice?
What do you, Well, I was going to say, what's the alternative? Like, if you're there for a root canal, be like, man, I'm so sorry you're here. Or, did you bring headphones or anything? Like, it's going to get really loud. It's going to be bad. Like, what do you say? Do you hug them?
I think I'd start with good morning. We're going to make this as painless and positive an experience as possible.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to knock you out. It's going to be good. You're going to have pretty cool dreams. And you're going to come back, too. So,
all right.
Godspeed.
Godspeed's a pretty good one, too.
Or is that too positive? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's go next to Coach Cap in East Houston. What's your Houstonian pet peeve?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Sure. Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
Hey, excellent. When I originally called, I had 2 pet peeves, but I got one more that I'm
There we
going to throw
go.
in there as well. But the first, Houston Street and Road. Tore up. I've had more suspension and tire issues than I can think of or blink an eye at. That's one. Number 2, you guys mentioned trash and recyclables. They do have on the City of Houston's website the schedule But guess what? They never stick to the recycling schedule.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They got to text us.
What if they don't stick to the text? They won't work either.
That's true.
You're right. Golly, there was one more, and I didn't forgot. But I will say this. You can find me on Instagram at Coach Cap. I teach and coach boxing. I mentor young. Oh, yes, the third pet peeve. I had a great idea to fundraise and generate revenue for NPR radio. I reached out, never heard back from anyone. And so, yeah, that's a pet peeve because I was like, man, I thought they needed help making money, and I got an idea, and they never got
Was it a car wash outside?
No, not
that would be cool. We would wash your car.
No, the idea is a boxing event. Events. I think they generate a lot of. It's great entertainment and be a great way to generate revenue.
I'm not sure I want to see people hit Craig Cohen.
Like me and Ernie?
Yeah.
Or like you, Craig, and Ernie, or
I don't know, but thank you very much for the call. I guess I'll have to follow up with the boxing division.
I want to know
of
if
the department.
Is it like
Is
it like intramural? Like
I don't know. I don't know.
And the show guest count. Like, am I gonna fight Jeff Balke? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
We have a suggestion also, and for trash and recycling, since you just called about that. Yeah. There's an app called HTX Collects. You enter your address, and it'll send you alerts reminding you of trash and recycling pickups and delays. So there you go.
But they have to actually adhere to it.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
We can try it. We'll see. Maybe we'll be back grabbing next week.
Yeah.
Somebody also suggesting that gift card pins, sometimes it's the last 4 digits of the card itself. So, okay. There's lots of theories out there. I think it probably depends program by program. But fair enough. Let's see here. After the subject of scarcity of checks came up last month, Charles wrote in from Victoria to say, I started writing checks again because businesses are charging to use cards. The feed store and one of my doctors charge extra for card use. So this one is a big city gripe.
I wonder what they knew. I wonder if they like the Gen Z note to do with a check. Like, what is this? Like an IOU? What is the?
Yeah, I don't know what to do with them anymore. I mean,
is this cash? What's going on?
I can't remember the last time anybody handed me a check.
I mean, I get direct deposit on most of like my little extra gigs and stuff like that too. Rarely do I get a check. If I get a check in the mail, it's like from like the insurance company where it's like, oh, we overcharged you. Here's $22.15. I'm like, oh well.
You just reminded me I have a check I need to deposit. We are fielding your Houstonian pet peeves. Call or text 713-440-8870 or email talk@houstonmatters.org. More of our group moan session and more from guests Lisa Gray and Craig Hlavaty is ahead as Houston Matters continues.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it.
A 2025 report found that 50 million...
You count on Houston Public Media. That's why you're here right now. Take the next step and become a new member today. Every gift makes a difference. And with a gift of $5 a month or more, you'll receive PBS Passport, a member benefit that lets you stream more of the shows you love anytime. It only takes a minute to make a big difference. Join as a new member today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 800-364-8300.
Fare Card. The Ride Metro fare system replaces the Metro Q Fare Card for bus and rail fares. Details at ridemetro.org/fare system.
Support for Houston Public Media comes from attorney mediator Ron Bankston, providing in-person, video conferencing, and hybrid mediation and arbitration services. More information is available at ronbankston.com.
This is Houston Matters. I'm Craig Cohen. We're in the middle of another round of Houstonian Pet Peeves with Lisa Gray, Craig Hlavaty, and you. Call or text 713-440-8870 or email talk@houstonmatters.org. Remember the ground rules. Don't defame anyone. No name calling, no swearing. Otherwise, we welcome your peeves. Dean writes, Harris County evidently has a contract to periodically cut the grass in Terry Hershey Park. It doesn't matter that we may be in a drought and the grass hasn't grown at all since the last cutting. In those cases, the mowers just raise a lot of dust. This is a waste of taxpayer dollars and an unnecessary release of carbon emissions. It would be less convenient and less money for the mowers, but couldn't this be on an as-needed basis? Is there a way to do that?
A good point.
Goats?
Yeah.
Goats. Let's just hire some goats.
Goats
I think
need
people
to eat year-round.
that's a cute thing, too. It's a good PR moment. You know, you bring out 100 goats and have them cut the grass.
And the days that you don't have any grass for them to chew on, you do goat yoga.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're all about making money here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a health initiative.
Multitasking. This is what we need from all of our goats.
They're not pulling their weight.
On YouTube, more conversations, including pet peeve, according to Earl Grey T-Cat. My pet peeve is inconsiderate apartment neighbors, from rolling in gas generators to use on small patios to unleashed dogs that run and jump on people. Be considerate. Indeed.
Yes.
Particularly that last part. The dog's got to be on a leash.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Just come on, folks.
Well, generators in a small space are really bad, too. If you're near it and it's emitting the gas fumes.
And bad music.
Yeah.
When you live in an apartment and the neighbors are playing like bad music, that's not good.
Like, you're fine with loud music if it's good.
Yeah. Then I could just I'll turn off my TV and I'll listen with
Do
them.
you post a sign out in the hallway that says the following artists are acceptable at full volume?
Yeah, REM on a Sunday morning, that's fine. But like REM, something like that.
Yeah.
Like what's the old joke?
REM on a Sunday
I
morning.
don't know.
Oh my God,
I
I'm
just
thinking
threw
of
that out there.
I'm thinking of Everybody Hurts cranked up.
Well, that
That's
does
a
work on a
terrible
Sunday
way to
morning.
start your
That
Sunday.
does work.
Losing my religion. You know?
I don't know. Like
that'd be
that's
rough too. Somebody's on their
Sunday?
way to church
Yeah.
and they hear that.
Yeah. Not appropriate.
Or when people are practicing music too, then that's always fun too.
I kind of don't mind that. A few years ago, I moved into an apartment complex. It's one of the big ones where you've got, you have an indoor hallways and everything, so you're walking up and down long hallways. And every once in a while, I hear, and I think somebody teaches lessons on different, and it's kind of cool to just. I get home and I'm not sure what instruments I'm going to hear echoing through the halls, and I kind of like it.
There's a few people that think for the symphony that live in my apartment complex, and I've heard some really cool violin before.
That's nice. I mean, like.
Yeah, I've heard harp as well.
If you've got a student who's learning drums or
that's not really.
I don't know, bagpipe. I'm not into that. It needs to be good.
All right, let's go next to Julie in the Galleria neighborhood. Julie, what's your Houstonian pet peeve?
Well, you made a comment also, no unleashed dogs. One pulled my groin.
Oh, no.
Also, you made a comment about this, the check writing and Gen Z. I went to a store a long time ago, wrote a check. What is this anyway? I don't know what I said, but they accepted it, I think. That's how I learned about a debit check card.
Yeah.
That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching somebody's brain fry when you hand them cash with a certain amount of change to try and get a solid number of bills back or a couple of quarters, and you can just see the mind cannot comprehend the math that needs to take place to bring back the exact change.
I am forgetting how to use coins now, Craig. Like, I gave somebody a 20 and they handed me back some dollars and a handful of change, and I realized I no longer have places to put those.
Well, you see, here's the problem. I was going to say penny for your thoughts, and then I realized no more pennies, no more thoughts.
My thoughts are worth way more than that.
Nickel for your thoughts. I don't know.
It doesn't. Yeah,
people only use nickels to scratch off lottery tickets. Anyway.
Every time it
you used a
rains,
nickel?
it rains quarters in heaven. That doesn't. There's a lot of
Yeah.
old references that are not going to make sense anymore.
So I'm a coin collector, and when I go to the bank, I go, "Do you have any like fun, rare coins?" And they're just like, "What?"
Why would we hand them to you?
Yeah. I'm just like, I'll buy them, but they're just like, like the Kennedy $50 or anything like that, Eisenhower dollars, like paper money. I'm like, no, it's like a coin, but it's $1. They're like, I don't get that. So then I'm like, okay.
Billy on YouTube has pet peeve next door neighbor app. A blessing and a curse.
Oh.
So many lost dogs and cats. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Strange people walking down the street.
Well, okay, so as
suspicious Jeep.
Depressing as the lost dogs or cats may be,
Yeah.
at least that is a useful use of
Yes.
an app like that. Yeah, the other stuff is really unnerving. I don't mind the I'm selling thus and such TV. That's cool. I'm my cat went missing.
Right.
Well, spread the word.
Let's do that.
But I don't know about this guy I saw at 12:30 last night. What are you doing? Just go to sleep.
His vehicle had a Domino's thing on the top. What is that? No, my next door in Montrose is really rough too because there's a lot of people who use it like Facebook. So they'll talk about politics on there, or they'll talk about just like random celebrity news.
They're not just complaining about recycling.
Like talk to us when your dog goes missing. We don't care about Nicki Minaj. It's okay.
Let's see here. Another David. This one's in Klein. He writes, it is illegal in Texas to not have a front license plate. Violations are subject to a hefty fine. Yet my semi-scientific research reveals about 30% of the vehicles on the road in Harris County lack a front plate. Front plates play an important role in identifying drivers and owners who commit crimes, from skipping tolls to drive-by shootings. They also assist in locating witnesses to accidents and crimes. I don't understand why the rule is not enforced. If HPD and or Harris County set up checkpoints and wrote tickets, it would provide a great source of revenue.
Wow. And that would be really easy to check because you see the car.
I gather, I suspect some of that is just how much personnel there is to do that.
Right.
If you've got checkpoints, if you're keeping track of that, is it taking time away from checking on other things?
Violent crime? Yeah.
I don't know.
And these days, people are so on edge when they see any kind of law enforcement. I think checkpoints would freak people out totally.
Yeah. Still time for your Houstonian pet peeve at 713-440-8870 or talk at houstonmatters.org. Let's go next to Maya in Montrose. Maya, what's your Houstonian pet peeve?
My pet peeve goes along with what you were saying before about the composting. I understand why they don't not composting, about recycling. I understand why they don't recycle. But why don't we compost in this very verdant city? Because it makes money for the city and it would do all kinds of good. It would make trash a lot less gross. And then also I had on the check thing, on a tortilla, they used to tell us that you could write a check on a tortilla when I was in college and that they have to accept it. I've never tried this, but I encourage somebody to.
That's really tempting and weird.
Let us know how that goes.
Can we have we can have a composting class at News and Brews later this month, right?
Oh.
The composting, there's just a bin. Like in San
tortilla.
Francisco, they have a little bin. It makes it so much less gross. You just throw the stuff in. Yeah. Away goes your stink.
Well, people also need to know how to do it too, because don't you have to turn compost?
No.
I
I live in the suburbs.
Yes, there we go.
San Francisco learned it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's easy. Things rot. You
I
throw
agree
them in
with
a
you.
pile and back, and they just rot. It happens really fast in Houston because we're so wet and
But then people need to know what you can throw in there too, right?
things that'll rot.
Okay. Like paper, right?
Huh?
Like newspaper can go in there too, right?
Yeah, I usually don't I'll wad it up. So it's not just in a bunch. But
this is like the
it's
worst
This is
game of
boring.
super password ever.
Like a garbage salad.
Newspaper, garbage salad, things that'll rot.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to teach a composting class then.
I
I
think
promise you, people need to know how to do it.
Probably there are people who don't know how to do anything.
Exactly.
We could get the goats to work on this.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's go next to Greg in Spring. Greg, what's your Houstonian pet peeve?
Well, I travel from Spring into town almost every day and using the Hardy Toll Road. And I can't believe there's still no flyover from the Hardy Toll Road heading west to 45 South. It's so silly that you hit bumper-to-bumper traffic and you've got to cross over 4 lanes just to get to 45 South. When the Hardy Toll Road takes you to 45 North, why would you go to 45 North when you got to just come from the north side? And it's always full of traffic, and you can never get over, and it takes a good 15, 20 minutes just to cross 4 lanes.
All right. Thanks for the call and for the peeve. Yeah, there may not be a more frustrating moment than when you find yourself on a toll road and you are paying for
the misery,
the honor of being stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's a little frustrating.
More lanes. We just need more lanes. 4 more lanes. I promise it'll be fine after that.
Yeah.
Come on, man. 4 more lanes.
There's something about the old joke, it's so crowded, nobody ever goes there anymore. That seems to apply.
We have a comment on YouTube indicating that checkpoints are illegal in Texas. And I think they might be referring to DWI or sobriety checkpoints, but I don't know if...
yeah, I've been in checkpoints before, but it's definitely near the border with like immigration.
Gotcha. All right, we've just a couple of minutes left. Want to hear a final peeve from each of you? What's on your mind?
Oh, on my mind right now is the number of things we have to vote for in the primary. Harris County has one of the longest ballots in the United States, and if you're doing your homework, especially if you're an independent voter and deciding which primary to vote in, it's overwhelming. It's tiring. We need to make it easier. Democracy here is just too hard.
We kind of have an election just about every month here,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, and
next
like,
several months,
the Christian Menefee question, like, what district is he in? What does it look like? Even if you're really following politics and live there, it's hard to keep up.
He is in the 18th district.
No, okay. I got that.
Is,
the number is
He
good.
will be running in the primary along with Al Green and
Right, but
other
what's the
candidates.
shape
Matt
of
Edwards
it?
also. Well, it depends on which map you're looking at and whether you're talking about the current 18th district or the one that one of those candidates or another may be elected to. No, I did my best.
I do agree with you. The ballots are way too long, and it's a lot of there's a lot of confusing language in there.
I mean, we got to do it. It's important to democracy. But.
All right, Craig.
Is this one of the last weeks to register to vote too, right?
I think today
is the deadline to register to vote
my
for the primary.
Everybody needs to be registered to vote.
Yeah.
Please. Not enough of you are there.
All right.
That's
All
my
right.
peeve.
All right, I'll share one. I've had one kind of in my hip pocket. It just suddenly popped up this morning.
Be good.
So back during the pandemic days, as you may recall, for a stretch there, I was hosting this show from home.
Mm-hmm.
And with like clockwork, every week, one day a week, about 8 a.m., somebody would turn on a leaf blower on the sidewalk down below my apartment, which, look, it's fine. Leaves apparently have to be blown. Somebody has contracted them to do this. But they would keep going and going and going as I watched the clock tick closer and closer to the time at which I would have to be on air. And every week I was sweating it out because no amount of soundproofing, nothing that I could position in my home could keep the hum and the rumble.
You had a big on-air sign outside.
It didn't matter. There was nothing that I could do. So I got over it because, just live with what you live with, right? And then some months ago, I found myself moved to a new office space, a new desk here. First time in my life, I have a window view, and I love it.
Ooh.
But also coming with it, this morning, around 8 a.m., leaf blower. I assume somebody on the University of Houston campus, which is big, and so it's echoey and cacophonic, and it's creating all kinds of noise, and I'm trying to concentrate, and the whole time I'm having flashbacks to the days gone by of hosting the show from home, and got cold
You're
sweat
Vietnam.
formed. Yeah, it really was. It was rough. It was rough. I hope this was cathartic for you as much as it was for me. If we didn't get a chance to share your peeve on the air, I hope you will send it our way. You can do so at talk@houstonmatters.org now or anytime between now and next month. In the meantime, let me say thank you to Lisa Gray and Craig Hlavaty, and we will see you on the first Monday of next month.
Yeah.
Peeve away.
All right.
Still to come, we preview Sunday's Super Bowl and discuss the Texans' offseason priorities with Houston Chronicle beat writer Jonathan Alexander. Stay with us as Houston Matters continues on News 88.7 and YouTube.
My name is Tom O'Driscoll, and I'm a double altruistic organ donor. The way I became an organ donor originally was in 2009, and it actually started with This American Life. I was listening to the program, and it was a story called The 10 Commandments. And there was a woman on it named Chaya Lipschutz, an Orthodox Jewish woman from Brooklyn, New York. And she told the story of how she became a living organ donor.
The ad was like screaming out to me. It said, save a life, be Mekayim, which means to fulfill a once-in-a-lifetime mitzvah.
Afterwards, it made me think about maybe this is something that I could do myself. I was on a run, and I was thinking, why do I spend so much time trying to keep myself healthy? Maybe you spend time keeping yourself healthy so that you can help someone else who's not healthy. I finished the run, I called Chaya, and I told her I'm going to be a kidney donor. And that's how I donated my kidney to a stranger in 2010. There are 3 things that I'd always like someone to know about being a living organ donor. 1, the need is very great. There are over 100,000 Americans currently waiting for a kidney or a liver donation, and about 15 Americans die every day for want of an organ. 2, it's extremely safe. If you donate your kidney, you have about a 1 in 3,000 chance of having an adverse reaction from the surgery. So it's extremely safe. And if you donate a portion of your liver, the odds are 1 in 500 that you'd have an adverse reaction. And then 3, after being an organ donor, you'll have that satisfaction of knowing that you saved another human life. I'm Tom O'Driscoll from Sugar Land, and you're listening to Houston Matters with Craig Cohen.
It's not just your car. It's the one that brought your kids home from school, took you cross-country, held memories, laughter, even a few breakdowns. When it's time to let go, give your car a new purpose. Donate it and turn memories into meaningful support for this station. Plus, you'll enjoy free and easy pickup, potential tax benefits, and a simple donation process. Your gift supports the programs you and your family love. Donate today and help keep public media strong. Call or donate online.
To 1 p.m., taking a deep dive into the stories that matter to Houstonians, keeping you informed, engaged, and entertained. With the generous support from our founding sponsor, Kathy Sanders.
Support for Houston Public Media comes from Texas Mutual Insurance Company, a workers' compensation provider committed to helping Texas communities and emphasizing safety. More at texasmutual.com/TexansGetIt.
The New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks will square off in the Super Bowl next Sunday. Meantime, here in Houston, the Texans are contemplating whether and when to extend quarterback C.J. Stroud and what other steps they may need to take this offseason in an effort to get further in the playoffs next season. Here to discuss these and other NFL matters is the Houston Chronicle's NFL and Texans beat writer Jonathan Alexander. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. And yourself?
I am great. Thanks for having me.
Let's first preview the Super Bowl itself. What intrigues you about the matchup between the Patriots and the Seahawks?
Yeah, you have two of the most consistent teams on both sides in the AFC and the NFC facing off against each other. But you also have a team in the New England Patriots who was one of the worst teams in the league last year. And for them to make the Super Bowl with a first-time head coach is quite remarkable.
I could see from a Texas fan's perspective 2 ways of rooting on Sunday. On the one hand, maybe you want the Patriots to lose badly because the Texans lost to them in the playoffs. On the other hand, you might want them to win dominantly because then it makes the Texans not look so bad because they lost to the Patriots in the playoffs. Where do you fall as a beat writer covering the Texans?
Yeah, I think that Texans fans want the Seahawks to win rather than the opposite scenario, because regardless of whether the Patriots beat them, they felt like they were good enough to win. They thought that the 4 turnovers, if they had not committed turnovers, then they would have won that game. And, you know, the Texans have a little bit of a history with the Patriots as well. The Patriots historically have beaten them over the years. So there's no love lost there.
The fan base, and I imagine management behind the scenes as well, has been vociferously debating whether and when to extend quarterback C.J. Stroud, who, of course, had an amazing rookie season, struggled the last 2 years at times during the regular season, and then really, there's no nice way to say it, was just horrible during the playoffs this year. What factors might dictate whether the Texans seek a longer-term extension, some sort of bridge deal, slap a franchise tag on him, or do something else?
Yeah, they're 1 year away or 2 years away from having to slap a franchise tag on him. I think the most likely scenario this year is the Texans extend the fifth-year option on him, which would keep him through the 2027 season. Now, there was a chance before what happened, the 4-interception game, there was a chance that he could have been extended this offseason. I think that it was less likely, but say he had won a Super Bowl. I think they would have been quick on trying to re-sign him. But now, given how he played, they are likely to want to wait a year, have that fifth-year option, have him for 2 more years, and then make a decision perhaps next offseason or the year after that. If he plays poorly next year, then they could potentially franchise tag him after that, or after the 2027 season, to see for sure whether he is their quarterback of the future.
You reported this weekend the Texans are expected to hire Giants assistant offensive line coach James Ferentz. Is coaching the issue with the offensive line, or do the Texans just need better personnel?
Yeah, I think that in particular, I think both, but not so much coaching. But I think that move in particular was to get better alignment with offensive coordinator Nick Caley. When Nick Caley came in, he didn't have a ton of coaches who he was particularly familiar with. Cole Popovich was one of the few coaches who he had a previous knowledge, who was on the Texans staff, who he had previous relationship with. And now you bring in a guy like James Ferentz, who Caley coached, who is likely to coach the tight ends actually, and probably help out with the offensive line. And tight ends was an area where they performed well, but not up to their standards. And that is Nick Caley's expertise. So I think he wanted better alignment there. But you're all right. They do need help with their personnel as well.
What other steps do the Texans need to take in order to not just return to the playoffs next year, but take that next step to the conference championship or even a Super Bowl?
Yeah, the majority of their defensive players are returning. And we all know the Texans had the number 1 defense in the entire NFL throughout the regular season. But the area that they need to fix is on offense, obviously. And in the NFL, it starts with the offensive line, the guys up front. They control the game, whether that is running or keeping your quarterback protected. And the Texans just haven't had a ton of success with their offensive line in the past 2 years. Their offensive line was better last year, but it was not as good as it could have been. And C.J. Stroud's success historically has been very dependent on how his offensive line has played. Year 1, it played phenomenally. C.J. Stroud had the best year of his career, one of the best rookie seasons of all time. Year 2, it was horrendous. C.J. Stroud had a terrible year. Year 3, it was okay. And C.J. Stroud's year was just okay. So the Texans have to beef up that offensive line.
Before we wrap up, since the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, I guess we shouldn't let the moment pass without noting that 6-time Super Bowl champion and longtime and now former Patriots coach Bill Belichick was not elected to the Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. How come?
Yeah, to me, honestly, Bill Belichick should have been the first ballot Hall of Famer. But I think that there are some times that there are biases within the Hall of Fame. And rightfully so. There's a person that represents a team for each team, so they want their guys to get in. And I think that perhaps I don't know in particular who didn't vote for Bill Belichick, but perhaps there were some lingering things. Bill Belichick was, in Spygate, Deflategate, a couple of things that would be considered cheating. Now, does that mean he shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer? I don't think so, because he is considered, even without those situations, he is considered the greatest head coach of all time. Now he'll get in next time, but this year it was very much a surprise.
Jonathan Alexander with the Houston Chronicle, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And that will do it for today's show. I'm Craig Cohen. Join us tomorrow for more Houston Matters.
I'm Manoush Zamarodi, and our world is changing so fast. On the TED Radio Hour, we invite innovators, researchers, and activists to unpack those changes with us.
Just about all companies are becoming technology companies or technology-enabled companies.
Listen to the TED Radio Hour from NPR every week for conversations that will deepen your understanding